see, there's no need to wonder where your God is, because he's right here! And he's fresh out of mercy.
What up, though, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Notorious Baddie stream today. I am your host, Miss Baddie, and today we're playing some Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, and we're continuing on with episode 5. Now we are in the trial portion, and I have to make sure that my fucking associate, aka the new girl on staff, does not go to fucking jail. It's gonna be interesting, to say the damn least. I have no idea how this is gonna go, but hang in there with me. But first, before I get started, what is up, Senior Severio? What is up, that nature person? Happy to hear that you got a new phone. What up, though, bro? And Senior Severio, congrats that the blackout is over. Thank the Lord. Anyway, let's get right into the gameplay. Yeah, having a screen with no cracks in it definitely does wonders. All right, let's get into it. December 20th, 3:11 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 5. That's right, we're gonna be in the fucked up courtroom. That's right. I did a little research. Look into those special Psylocks you mentioned, Mr. Nick. You did? That's great. Really appreciate it. Red Psylock protects a secret a person is consciously trying to hide. The person folds under questioning, the lock breaks, and the truth comes out. Yep, that's exactly how I got the truth out of Detective Fulbright and Director Cosmos. Excuse me. But a black Psylocke protects a secret from the deepest place in a person's heart. A secret that the person isn't even consciously aware of. So even they don't know it's there. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself. Okay, so all I have to do is break the Psylocks. According to my research, a black Psylocke is like a heavy chain wrapped directly around one's heart. If they're ripped off by force, it could cause permanent damage to a person's soul. To a person's soul? Jesus Christ! God damn, not the soul! Grab the soul! Grab the soul! Jay Bilzerian is my favorite character on Big Mouth. He's just my favorite. He's hands down the character with the most character development. He's just the best. Anyway, sorry. In other words, if I'm not careful, I could traumatize Athena for good. Gulp. Pearls, could you stay by Athena's side? She must be suffering under the weight of such a heavy burden. Ah! I cracked my damn shoulder by accident, Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry. I was gonna say, taking a SIM card out of a phone now it's not as difficult as, although, has it always been difficult? I think it's been pretty easy. You know, the hard part was the tray. I got you. All right. Well, will you be all right by yourself this day? I don't think it's Edgeworth. Excuse me, Lord have mercy. I have to be able to give this trial all of my focus and strength. And you can't do that if I'm there. I'll just hold you back. That's not it. I just meant I can relax and concentrate if I knew you were with Athena. No, that's what he said. Sorry. Sorry. That's exactly what I said. That's what she said. You're the only person who can do that, Pearl. Who can do it, Pearls, excuse me. Alright, I'll do it then. Good luck, Mr. Nick. Good. Now that my mind is at ease, I better get ready. I'll just tidy up the evidence and take out what I don't need. It's time to end this nightmare that started 7 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy work. 7 damn years, jeez Louise. December 20th, District Court, courtroom number 4.
Defense, prosecution, and judge.
There are even people in the gallery. The roof has been completely blown off and the walls have collapsed. But today, this ruin is my battlefield. Heyo! Look at this shit. Duh, now people in the courtroom. I mean, it said it, but it's like, oh god. Court, or some facsimile thereof, is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes. Ooh. Not a facsimile, old man. This is a proper official trial. Take this more seriously, or you'll start hearing the bones of hostages snap. Please try not to upset Miss Blackwell. I'm begging you. Court is now in session for the very serious and very proper trial of Athena Sykes. There is no trial. There is nothing more than a ridiculous farce. This is no trial. This is more than a ridiculous farce. What did you say? Edgeworth, did you not hear what I just said to his honor? However, this ridiculous farce has very important meaning for our legal system. Recall the case of the UR1 incident, in which a prosecutor was found guilty of murder. That case ushered this odious dark age of the law. I see what you're after. You can find the real truth behind that case today. Precisely. The darkness will be dispelled, and glory shall be restored to the court system. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you sound as if you know something of this truth. I do indeed. A new suspect has emerged in the UR1 case. Yeah, I was gonna say, to see him in 3D is like, oh my, that's interesting. Okay, bro, I see you. For 7 years, Simon Blackwell has refused to speak in order to cover for someone else. Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes. I'm sorry, right? But the situation is what it is, and I must do what I must. The prosecution moves to indict Athena Sykes on the count of murder in the first degree. Ooh, we got animation. Oh shit.
Regardless the circumstance, I intend to question the defendant with all I have. For that is a part of my creed.
That's what you sound like? Huh.
Then you'd better bring it.
Oh, that's what you sound like?
If the two of you are ready.
Oh, that's what y'all sound like?
Court is now in session for the trial of Athena Sykes.
I'm just glad that it's not raining.
The defense was born ready.
The prosecution is also ready.
He sounds like an old but sultry old man. It's not bad. I'm not mad at it. Right where we left off. It's my duty to clear Prosecutor Blackwell of false accusations and end this insanity. But I have no intention of losing Miss Sykes either. She's a very promising young lawyer. I know without a doubt that Athena is innocent. But I don't think Prosecutor Blackwell did it either. He's covering for somebody. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy. The true culprit is a spy. It's going to be hard to convince anyone of that when I barely believe it myself. But I don't have a choice if I want to save Athena and Blackwell and expose the spy. The spy. Now then, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth. No need for the prosecutor bit, Your Honor. I'm here as a simple prosecutor. Very well. Your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Although I've been known of late to give an impressive opening statement myself. In all the trials I've ever seen, only the prosecution gives an opening statement. Of course, you're right. I was just joking. Just having a little fun. So he wasn't doing them just out of fear. Interesting. Let's start with a brief overview of the UR1 incident. I was gonna say, this episode is complex. It's like, oh shit, so many moving parts. Oh my god. Because the previous prosecutor was making him do it. Because the previous prosecutor didn't feel the need to do it himself. The incident occurred at the Cosmos Space Center 7 years ago on October 7th. The victim, psychologist Meta Sykes, was killed in the robotics lab on the 4th floor. Not maybe because he showed half ass. Even his mother. Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor at the time, was found guilty of the crime. There were two deciding factors that led to his guilty verdict. One, Blackwell was the only person in the corridor to the lab at the time of the murder. And two, this photo which captured the moment of the crime. Very incriminating evidence indeed. It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackwell did indeed. Hold it. Are you kidding me? I'm not accepting any conclusion of that kind. Big Sister is mad. This opening statement is over. Now hurry up and call the witness. Excuse me, Miss Blackwell, but we must follow proper procedure for these things, you know? Or perhaps we should heed her wishes, Your Honor. She is the trial sponsor, after all. Besides, the courtroom is chilly, and sitting for too long can't be good for your back. Oh, you're very kind to show such concern for the welfare of the elderly. As skilled as ever at playing the court puppeteer, I see. The prosecution calls its first witness, a witness who decided to bring forth new testimony after 7 long years. New testimony? And just who is this witness anyway? Oh shit. Bobby Fulbright's the name. In Justice We Trust. What are you doing here? I'm just here to speak for the hostage taker, Miss Aura Blackwell. She says she's too busy with the confining and threatening the hostages and all. Oh my gosh, of course. That doesn't seem to stop her from constantly chiming in through Clonko. I'm nothing more than an observer in this. Do your best. I'm watching you. Oh my gosh. Believing her brother innocent, Miss Blackwell has been conducting her own investigation. So you are just so convinced that, you know, your brother is innocent that you're willing to go to jail because holding people hostage is against the law. Your ass is going to jail. Not for a long time, but for some time. Although I get it. Maybe you just, you know, you love your brother so much. It is what it is, but that's crazy work. And though her current actions are hardly lawful, see, told you, I think we can at least hear her theory. I have here Miss Blackwell's notes on the investigation she conducted. What is Afro? Sorry, 1 second. Oh my gosh, it feels as if got so much sleep in my eyes. My lord. Okay. I'll be giving testimony based on the notes. Here I go. Based on the notes. Okay. Witness testimony. Or Blackwell's theory. Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone. Someone else was at the scene at the time they say Simon committed the murder. I mean, if he really was out to steal the moon rock, then why the rolling case? Because he was using it to hide someone inside it. That's why. And the only person small enough to fit inside the case was Athena Sykes. And that's Miss Blackwell's theory. It totally goes in the face of the official ruling, huh? About the case she mentions, there were other rolling cases like that one in the lab. But they're not for traveling. They're apparently for moving parts and equipment. I vaguely remember seeing 3 cases, all different sizes. Yep, I remember that. The last trial, they thought the prosecutor Blackwell used the case to steal the rock. And they had a perfectly good reason to think that too. You see, there's a security camera in the corridor that leads to the robotics lab. Is the Queen of Black? What we saying? And that camera captured footage of Blackwell leaving the scene with the case. Oh, not with the case. I can see why the footage helped to bring his trial to a quick end. How is the Queen of Black? Who's the Queen of Black? Oh my gosh. That case, by the way, was later discovered outside the Space Center grounds. No, not speak the Queen's finest English. Lord have mercy. Oh, how is the Black Queen? Yeah, I'm assuming that you're referring to me. I hope so. Otherwise, I do not want to get hoed on this Monday. I'm okay. God save the king. Speaking of after the incident, where was the defendant that the Sykes found? He was found on the 5th floor of the Space Center in the Sykes family residence. Prosecutor Blackwell most likely brought her there after the incident. In addition, it's unknown where Miss Sykes was at the estimated time of death. Maybe Miss Sykes was too confused by the shock of her mother's death to give proper testimony, and there was no witness or evidence to tell us where she might have been. So what you're saying is Miss Sykes didn't have an alibi. That is all the evidence is saying. That is what the evidence is saying. Who is who? The victim is the accused's mother. Are you actually claiming an 11-year-old girl? Of course, the girl had a very strong motive. Dr. Sykes was a psychologist who wrote many papers about speech and emotions. You're aware of Athena Sykes' special ability, aren't you, Your Honor? Are you referring to that therapy thing? Yes, she's done it quite a few times at court. The ability to read emotions from speech and the subject of her mother's research. Don't be discriminative. Listen, I didn't murder. I too did some bad things when I was 11. I'm sure most kids did, but I ain't going around killing nobody. So, you know, what? Who is what? Who am I? Anyway, well, as long as it benefits society, I don't see any particular problem researching it. I don't like where this is heading. Not one bit. Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you seriously suggesting? Dahlia, the crazy bitch? I was gonna say, we talking about Dahlia, the crazy bitch that, yeah. Yeah, I remember that crazy hoe. Did you finish the game? Like all of it? Before I decide to say what I was going to say? I've done my best to, oh, okay. I'm gonna save my mouth there. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. There's more. And then there's more. I've done my best to be delicate. Oh, okay. That bitch. Even in death. Okay. Even in death. It's crazy. I've done my best to be delicate. But even you can't deny it to be true, Mr. Wright. No longer able to withstand the anguish of the experiments, Miss Sykes felt her only choice was to kill her own mother. Ah! They should have. I think that was a really good episode. It tied everything together. Order! Order in the court! What a tragic story. I hardly want to believe it myself. Aww. That would have been cool to watch. But we must proceed. Mr. Wright, if you could, Detective Fulbright, please refer to the notes. A case on a train. Okay. Well, how do you know that? But that's just speculation. No, Miss Blackwell has proper grounds for her claims.
Objection!
How? Then why didn't you say so in the first place?
Objection!
You're the one who screamed hold it and cut me off. Fine, so maybe I jumped the gun by a teeny weeny bit. Now I know what they mean when they say close enough to argue. Moving on. I mean, if he really was out to steal the moon rock, then why the rolling case? That's Metis' autopsy. Oh wait, there's more? Oh my. Oh yeah, so one of the rolling cases is gone. Okay. But there's a special capsule for that. So why the rolling case? So, you know, maybe they were right in that aspect of it. That's it. Sorry, I just want to go over all of the details. Bro, what were you moving? That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, the hell were you doing? Because he was using it to hide someone inside. That's why.
Hold it!
And how do you suppose he hid the person inside one of those cases? Have you forgotten that we saw just such a thing the other day? At your own daughter's magic show, she fit a grown person into a small box. Oh yeah. You haven't made one Google search on your phone yet? You totally should. No, you're not illegal. What's keeping you from doing it? I wish you would have thought to invite me. Actually, I would have liked to go too. My apologies. I'll invite you both next time, I promise. So, wait a minute. What were we talking about again? Prosecutor Blackwell was using the case to hide someone. Any bridges?
Hold it!
But that's nothing more than conjecture, and it's hardly the only possibility. If that's the case, who do you think Prosecutor Blackwell had in that case? I think it was the moon rock.
Objection!
There were 3 cases at the scene, but Prosecutor Blackwell used the largest one. The moon rock was egg-shaped and only about 8 inches in diameter. It wouldn't have make any sense to use the largest case there just to move that rock.
Objection!
What do I want to do today? I want to go back to bed and lay down. And sleep. That's what I want to do today. Be that as it may, it doesn't prove Miss Sykes was inside. What did I do today? Work. Work, ate breakfast, and now I'm playing this game. How do I hear something so stupid? What? My translator isn't the best. Let me ask you this. Can you come up with a better theory? How about doing something stupid? Nah, that's not for me. Theory of what was in the case. Well, Mr. Wright, can you? Yikes. Give the guy some time to think. Let's see. Should I try to bluff my way through what I just said? Nah, don't totally bluff. Totally bluff. Well, you're gonna do something? What are you going to do? I know exactly what Prosecutor Blackwell carried from the scene. I just have to find something else that was missing, right? No sweat. Oh, I'd be very interested in hearing your theory if that's true. If it's true, that is. Hold on. Hold on, let me look at my pictures. Okay. No. Alright, here we go. Okay. Where the hell? Wait, there's a toolbox open too. With little tools. What the fuck did you do, bro? Oh, wait. Because I made mention of it the last time. Okay, I know what he took. I know exactly what he took. Lady Luck, don't fail me now. I know exactly what it took. I made mention of it last week. I was just like, what's going on with the arm? Why's it got a red spot on there?
Take that!
Please notice that there's a robot arm on top of this cart in this photo. However, in this photo taken after the crime, the robot part is gone. In other words, the part is something that was taken from the scene of the crime. You do appear to be right. I don't see it in the second picture. But it's just a piece of junk. How important could it be? If it's really just an insignificant robot part. Speaking of which, what are you looking at? I'm gonna start charging for each glance per eyeball. Stingy, stingy. What happened to the age of free previews? Your Honor, about the robot part. Doesn't it look like it could be an arm from that robot there? Okay. Well, now that you mention it, it does, doesn't it? But the case is too big to be practical for just the moon rock and a robot arm. But was it really just the one arm that was in there? Hold on. Let me look at the photos again. Let me look at everything else. Okay. Definitely that. Her jacket's on the floor. That robot arm is gone. What's that piece of paper? He left the sword, which I think is fucking wild behavior. What's up, Rocky? How you doing? Not someone dies. Who dies? Oh my gosh. Who died? There we go. No, that was from last week, though. Well, she's been dead for a while. But was it really just the one arm that was in there? If it wasn't Athena's in this case, then maybe. I believe there was another robot at the scene that that looks just like this one here. Your Honor. Yes, you are. It is the defense's assertion that it was a different robot in that case.
Objection!
Oh, you did? Or you do? That's what's up. I only have a few. Because I just came back to this game. Although I didn't even know the rest of these games existed. I started off playing the original Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game and like fell in love with it, but then life got in the way and I completely forgot about the game. Oh, it blew up. And it was an explosion at the very beginning of this series. And now it's come back full circle and now we're using, oh yeah, a bomb. Yep, a bomb. No, that's not what happened. No, at the very beginning of the series, we were defending a client who was accused of blowing up the courthouse. None. Well, we can't be certain that part belonged to a robot. Yes, it looks like one of the arms of one. Yes, it looks like the arm of one of the one before us, but it could be something else entirely. Besides, it's wrapped around entirely in bandages, making it difficult to verify what it is. I know for a fact this is a robot arm. I can't even tell you which robot it belonged to just by looking at it. And this information we can investigate whether it was there at the time or not. But Mr. Wright, I thought you were more of the technologically illiterate type. When did you become such an expert? I feel somehow abandoned. Not to worry, Your Honor. I still know next to nothing about machines. But I know this piece of evidence proves which robot the arm belonged to.
Take that!
The robot in this picture is named Ponko. And take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. She must have thought that machines heal the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild. The robot arm at the scene had the same bandaging wrapped around it. In other words, this robot arm could belong to none other than Ponko. Order in the court. Order, I say. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you have to say to this? I concede that the robot is about the same size as a child, but it cannot grab its knees and curl itself into a ball. Even if it was the largest of the cases, the robot couldn't have possibly fit in there. Yeah. The case does come up to about mid-thigh on Prosecutor Blackwell. I see your point. This robot is much taller than that. They've got me there. But it's like they took her he took it apart bit by bit. Hello? And of course Ponko wouldn't fit. All Prosecutor had to do was dismantle or of course Ponko would fit. Okay. Once taken apart, the robot could easily fit inside the rolling case. Dude, Fortnite. You know my translator sucks. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo. Domo. Excuse me. Appears to be a robot assembling. My gosh, I'm struggling. Device. Disassemble anything in a flash. Push the button, dismantle button. Heyo, you found a partner! Go kick some ass! Sounds pretty neat. Can I push you, Mr. Nick? Sounds rather violent, but Mr. Wright does have a point there. Ooh. Except that there was a body on the table where the where the robots were dismantled and assembled. There would have been no room to take the robot apart. But what if it wasn't done on the table? What if he used the katana? What if the katana was used instead? Jesus. You mean the sword? Yes, Your Honor. Miss Blackwell, I'd like your opinion on a piece of science. Is it true that the katana could have been used to take that robot apart? I suppose so. Their joints aren't made very tough. Aren't made of very tough material. A blade could slice through them. Thank you for your expert opinion, Miss Blackwell. Thanks to you, we now know the existence of the severed arm, and the photo proves that Ponko was taken apart. In addition, since the rest of Ponko was not found at the scene, we can conclude that the true meaning of this photo is very different from the original interpretation. You can't mean my favorite pizza? I mean, I'm cool with, like, you know, regular cheese and pepperoni. Oh, my favorite pizza shop or pizza place? Well, my favorite pizza place of all time is Jet's Pizza. That's exactly what I mean. This photo does not capture the moment of the murder. It is instead a picture of the moment after the robot was sliced apart. The blood you see on the arm was cut off. The blood you see where the arm was cut off was transferred there from the bloody katana. Most likely, the rest of Ponko was scattered around Mr. Blackwell's feet. Not hearing this. Therefore, what was being transported inside the case was not the defendant, but a robot. Miss Sykes was never at the scene at the time of the murder. My head, my body, where am I? Oh, okay. Okay. Probably. You're most likely right.
Objection!
Uh-oh, he about to ruin my fun. But the robot. Okay. But there's more. I know there is. Exactly. No, Your Honor. My claim hasn't changed.
Objection!
Objection!
Apple. To voice my theory. Okay. Oh no. I think sometimes it gets like words right, and then other times the interpretation is completely wrong. As part of her research. Pen, pineapple, apple pen? What's that trying to say? No, you're just saying words. It proves nothing. You don't have a photo of her at all. This proves nothing.
Objection!
Objection!
No, I don't see any record of it. I believe it was considered unrelated to the case. Ponko? Uh-oh. Robot. He like, Your Honor, this shit don't surprise me. Let him bring the damn robot to the stand. You are a witness. No, I'm not. I'm Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko. There's a song named Baddie. I'm gonna ask you some questions, okay? in the robotics lab. I ain't never heard that before. Yes, I was in the robotics lab. Witness testimony. No, regular recharge. Okay. There's no data after that point. Interesting. Because of the whole hug and then she fell down. Rude. They don't, but what? Now I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised. It's never useless. Robots don't lie. No, but your interpretation could be off.
Hold it!
Her heart? What was it? What was your first search? Now will be Wikipedia. Okay. Hey, it's something. Okay. That sounds like a plan. Wait, so there are two things on here that I'm like, so if that's the case, can also recognize a person by facial features once the face has been registered. Okay. A scanning. Okay. Can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice and communicate with them. All she said was she was surprised, not angry, not sad. She just said she was surprised. It caught her by surprise. I started to recharge. If you say so. I'm very particular about my music now. There is something. That's a good little girl. Wait, what?
Objection!
Then this, so what she saw was not this. Perfect. Thank you. Just look up anything. And what is today's featured article? Okay. Like the actual lemurs or the lemurs from the movie Madagascar? Yeah, Afro, that's a good one. Go down that rabbit hole. Okay. Hope you enjoy it.
Objection!
Nothing more. Oh, here goes this man again. Stop saying my name 1,000,001 times. It's been 8 years, but you still just as green as ever. Green? But I can't recall ever seeing Mr. Right in anything but a blue suit. Hey, blue's my favorite color. What can I say? The defendant couldn't move the body herself. She could have had it moved for her. Moved for her? But Miss Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only two in there. I agree. Since the robot arm is equipped with a heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present. Then who do you suggest move the body? Don't you know the nature of a robot to help people do? Don't you know it's in the nature of a robot to help people do things? She was just asleep, bro. So she can't do 2 things at once. My name is Panko. Say it with me. Panko. Panko. Rude. I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table? Yes! Yes, I did. Athena asked me to. Athena asked you to? And what did you move, Lil Paco? I don't know. Unless something has ID tag, I can't tell what it is. Aw, fuck. An ID tag, you say? Yeah, exactly. It's on the fucking... It's on their jackets. Oh my gosh. It's like, Lord have mercy. So it would appear that Miss Panko here can't identify what... My name is Panko! But we humans have the power to imagine what it is, do we not? We do? Well, I do at the very least. Miss Panko, on the defendant's command, move the body on... Okay. We shall try. On the defendant's command, move the body onto operating table. Gah! Panko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Is there any way you could tell? I don't know. Without a ID tag, I can't tell. Give it up, right? If the victim's heart was stopped, the robot detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore a white coat while she was working. She kept the ID with her ID tag on it draped over the chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robotics point of view, her body was simply just another object. But Panko was equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did move the victim, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes, but she didn't, so that means... A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter. With her facial features hidden, the robot, wouldn't have been able to tell if it was and that's, yeah, and so his theory ain't all, not plausible. It's there. It's like, oh my gosh. It's getting on my nerves though that it's there. He's right. To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench, then using the robot, she moved the body to the table, where she removed the sword and sustained the blood. Removed the sword and stained in blood. Oh my god. Water! But if that's the case, then it would, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? You want a reason? Very well. What? You can't possibly have an explanation. Your emotions blind you to the truth. You could learn a lot from our robotics friends. Excuse me. Calm and rational thought will open your eyes to the truth if you in front of you, Mr. Ike. But now, do you remember the operating table's one special feature? I believe I read the robots could be assembled and disassembled there. Isn't that right? That's right, and to the defendant, who was just a child at the time, the table was like a magic box that could make robots appear and disappear in seconds. But in the end, my mom just put her... on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she could put me on the table and fix me and just put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked like a magic to me what she could do. You can't possibly be suggesting. The young sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Miss Sykes who bandaged it up like that. She must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable, naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild. Lord have mercy. No way. I refuse to believe it. Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace... Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it delicately as you can. With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table...
Hold it!
No, don't say another word. Just stop. Was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away from her crime. Wow. That's not what happened. Oh, that poor baby. That's gonna leave a mark for a minute. Order in the court, I say. Edgeworth. She was just a little kid. How can you say such a horrible thing? Horrible? Like I said, you're just as green as ever. I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth, no more, no less. My theory is simply the result of rational consideration of every possibility. From an 11-year-old? You think that's what happened? I would have taken... She put her mother on the operating table because she was trying to fix her versus her trying to get rid of her. There's just no way. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Miss Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her. I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. You give up? What happened? Why are you giving up? But dismantle or repair doesn't matter either way. He still wants to say that she's the reason why she's dead.
I can't even find entertainment loudly crying.
You can't... you even check Japan. You can't find entertainment in Japan? After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did what she did want to make it appear as if it never happened, and that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation. But we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant, and the body was moved per the defendant's commands. These two facts that indicate the defendant's guilt, remain unchanged. But if that's true, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution's claims? Evidence, right. Let's see. I can't think of any. I'm afraid I don't have any evidence. Since becoming chief prosecutor, I I've learned that truth isn't always pretty. Now accept the truth, Mr. Wright. Your subordinate murdered her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough. What a terrible and tragic conclusion. If the defense has no counter-argument, I see no need to further prolong this trial. Edgeworth's argument seems solid enough, but there's no way Athena could have done anything like that. What do I do? There has to be something, but I can't think of a single thing. Uh-oh. Who's object? Whose objection? Uh-oh. Prosecutor Blackwell. This is quite a farce if you're conducting... The farce you are conducting here, I could die from laughter. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you talking about? What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on an entirely false premise. Go on, we're listening. Look at this miracle I need. Could this be the miracle I need? But what is Prosecutor Blackwell trying to pull here? "7 years. For 7 long years, this case has been on my mind. Not for an instant did I not think of it. I'm the one who killed my mentor, and don't think you can alter that fact now. Your baldness, I will take the stand, and I won't take no for an answer." Of course, Prosecutor Blackwell. Please, go ahead. 7 years ago, I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return, and then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was. Not cathartic, Jesus. But little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words... I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened. Which would be? She fell means she fell. Merely that. Her mother, a child fooling around, perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either. Of course, meaning she had left the room. So the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in her testimony? She should hardly take stock in the words of a You should hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy. Then how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something? Athena was always tinkering with robots in the operating table to amuse herself. And she always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved a heavy robot for Athena. The fact that he's protecting her says a lot. This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet... Prosecutor Blackwell, are you trying even now to turn away from the truth? Don't you realize we could bring the dark age of the law to a close today? Today. You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down into hell? He's like, please, I'm trying to follow the yellow brick road that's paved to hell, bro. You're not helping. I don't want to be saved. Don't save me. If the truth doesn't come out, it's all over. Are you saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder? That's right. So let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the Styx. No, not miss the ferry across the Styx. Sure, Jesus. Don't you dare, Judge. Don't forget I have the hostages over here. And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her? Miss Blackwell. Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then present your evidence. That's the role of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor? Blackwell, you selfish! Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict. Is this really happening? Is it really going to end like this? It did. Is it really going to end like it did 7 years ago? Then go save him. No, I can't tell her. But how can I lie to Athena? If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I can't let this happen. But I just don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony. Hold it! Hey-oh. Athena! What are you doing here? I'm sorry, it wasn't a what are you doing here. I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something. He's really hiding something? Could you? If he really is, I could sure use Athena's help. That's for damn sure.
Objection!
Psych, Stono. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent. These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me, you know? What are you talking about? Do you remember that horrible, horrible trial? Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. My God, his hair. Not being heard, no matter how hard you try. Feeling so helpless. Calling people stairs, so scared that it feels like your chest is in a vice. I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out the door even now. And yet you found a way to keep your fears at bay and become a lawyer. Thanks. That's because one day I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I'd exercised hard and studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. This day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from the false conviction. He looking at her like, bitch, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to save your ass, is what he's basically saying. But Miss Sykes, you do realize what it would mean. You are the accused after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackwell innocent, then the only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what truth is. What that truth is, excuse me. Simon, please give me this chance. The chance to shake off the fear that's been with me for 7 years and face the truth. Athena is being so brave, confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both. Prosecutor Blackwell, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago. Fine. But your efforts will surely be in vain. For I am not a man who can be cut down easily. Here we go, Simon. Please hear the voice in your heart. Straight through the heart. I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes. Why were you happy that you saw her there? Why are you happy here? That's what I'm trying to figure. Oh, I mean, the killing part, definitely. But, and then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was. That's weird. Why are you happy about the baby? This feeling of happiness. Even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that? Simple. When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. And when I saw her in the robotics lab, I was relieved. I was happily relieved. Merely that. Oh shit, 40%. Damn, that went down. Just now you said that you went to the space station to kill Dr. Sykes. But the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead? I had no intention of harming Athena, so I wanted to confirm that she was safe first. It was just a part of my plan. Nothing contradictory about that. The second I find an inconsistency, he cuts it down. Hi, GRT, how you doing? Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch onto. I'm cool. I was afraid of that. We'll just have to keep chipping away at him, then bit by bit. Bit by bit by bit by bit. Could you update his testimony, Athena? You got it, boss. Now it's relieved. Okay. Okay. And now you're sad?
Got it!
When you were just happy not too long ago, what happened? Not even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackwell. What? When you said that you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had lain in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. I felt sorrow for Athena and her circumstances. Ugh, he can't be talking about that, can he? I was just a convenient subject for her research. Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. My objective was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research object. Excuse me. Oh, that was subject. Yeah, God, read. I went to the psychology lab first. That's where I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subjected to yet another experiment? I thought as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep, so all I had to do was wait and kill. So that's why he was relieved when he saw Athena. But if this story... Oh, hold on. My bad. Hold on. If this story is true, I'm not sure how much to believe. Hold on a second. Sorry. What are you doing, Athena? How are you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there? A lot stronger than I look, boss. Now take a look at this. The noise level actually increased. Oh, not 60%. It went up? Never seen it do that before. Prosecutor Blackwell is lying somewhere in his testimony. As a matter of fact, he's piling lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claims sound more believable. He's trying even harder to suppress his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise. What in the world? How in the world should I approach this? An evidence-based approach might work if I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, I should look at his inconsistency. I should look for an inconsistency in his emotions. Excuse me. There are no flaws in my testimony, and his baldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on the lost cause and let the law free me of these chains already.
Objection!
Nah, bro. I don't think so. Not while I'm around. Now, contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions. Which should I tackle first? We don't have any testimony, so his emotions is what's gonna give him away. Okay, let's look for the inconsistent emotions. Got it, boss. But if you want to try looking for a contradictory statement instead, just let me know. I can easily switch over. Like, his emotions are all over the place. One second he's sad, next second he's surprised. It's literally all over the place. My bad. Hold on. Okay, so why would you be surprised if you knew the turmoil she was going through? Hold on, maybe not. Let me try again. Let me try again. I'll look through something different. His emotions are just all over the damn place. Jeez. My goodness gracious. Why am I still getting these dango notifications? Why were you shocked here? Oh, I don't know.
Got it!
Now, why were you shocked here? How odd. Why would you register surprise at opening the door to the lab? Alright, fine. I'll explain if you must. What surprised me was Ponko, a toy figure, attacked me. Dr. Sykes knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena, but she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Sykes had Ponko do it? That's right, she ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko up with the katana that was in... with the katana that was there in the lab. That rickety old puppet wasn't even worth the fine blade. Mr. Wright, it's happening again. There's even more noise now. Jesus! Bro, stop lying and tell the damn truth. It's at 100% now. What's going on? We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate. It's pretty hard to keep telling it's pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are as sharp as strong as a katana. Excuse me. Alright. Maybe we could find something in his testimony that's not making any sense. I think there might be an inconsistency in Dr. Blackwell's testimony. Alright, let's give it a thorough check then. Okay, he's updating it. Okay. Ponko attacked me. I retaliated by cutting it into pieces. Nah, there's something wrong here. What's up with the blood on your katana, bro?
Objection!
Compounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. Take a look at this photo. That's the photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it? How many times must I see that which damned me for my sin? The ironic thing is, I think this picture is actually going to be your savior now. See the blood stain at the end of Ponko's arm and the one where it was severed with the katana? I hope you aren't claiming that I hope you aren't claiming it's robot's blood, Mr. Wright. No, most likely the blood was transferred there from the bloody katana. The katana already had blood on it? So then it must have been the victim's blood. That's right. But if that's the case, we found a glaring inconsistency. But what you forget to mention? You said in your testimony that you cut up Ponko and then you killed Dr. Sykes. Ooh, what you get, what you get, what you get? What you get, what you get, what you get? But in spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Ponko's arm in this picture. What? But that can't be. That couldn't be. Ooh! You got Personified Strikers Deluxe Edition? Oh my god! Good luck. Personified Strikers is a game that I had never thought that I would enjoy, but I ended up like enjoying it a whole lot. So... Oh, cool! I never played Tactica. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Ponko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first before the robot was slashed. In other words... Oh, well that's cool. In other words, Prosecutor Blackwell... Okay. Your entire testimony is nothing but one giant ball of lies. Nah, got slashed, bitch. Tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackwell, now. You have no idea what you're doing. His voice. There's so much discord. I'm hearing not just one or two, but a bunch of rampaging emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something. Did I say this? Whirlpool. Hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something. Oh, there's so much discord. Yeah. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave. Prosecutor Blackwell, you are on the witness stand. You are obligated to tell the truth. Isn't that the rule of the courtroom? All of the complex emotions, they seem to be flowing from one source. I think whatever he really saw that day is what's causing these feelings. Uh-oh. Oh shit. I saw it, the terrible scene. That terrible scene. Let me finish it up. I had no choice but to kill my mentor. Well, that's cool. So they brought back Yoshizawa well, I mean, the Akechi part is like throwing me for a loop, but they brought back Yoshizawa for Tactica? That's cool. When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor? You should know better. And though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it. Prosecutor Blackwell, Miss Sykes is innocent. I will always believe that with all my heart. Now can't you find it within yourself to believe in me too? Athena is innocent, huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be true? Right, Dono?
In the DLC has Joker, Yoshizawa, and Akechi.
What the heck is Tactica about then? Because Joker should be in, you know, if it's in Persona 5, it's like Joker should be in there. With someone helping Futaba?
Joker is in the main game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you said a DLC with Joker, Yoshizawa, and Akechi, and I'm just like, but... Like, the Yoshizawa and Akechi one, like, that makes sense. But Joker's part of the main game, so what are we talking about?
Someone helping Futaba, like a sub-navigator.
Oh, in the Tactica game, I'm assuming? Because I've only played Strikers, so I have no idea what Tactica is all about. I could get him. Oop. I give you my word. Now tell me what you...
The whole party. Joker, Yoshizawa, and Akechi. No other thieves except Joker.
Oh, so you're saying there's a DLC with just that party? So you could just be comprised of solely that party? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm just confused.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense now. I give you my word. Now tell me what you really... Okay. Interesting. Now tell me what... Ooh, gosh, sorry. My hair is like getting on my nerves. What you really saw when you opened that door. Curse you, Phoenix Wright! Uh-oh. It was a tragedy, one I'll never forget. When I arrived at the lab, Dr. Sykes was already dead. She was lying on the operating table, while the bloody katana lay on the floor. And standing between the two, covered in blood, was Athena. She smiled, with a far-off look in her eyes, as she sweetly said, what happened? Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her. Duh! Oh shit. That's what I saw. And now you have it. The truth that you so desperately wanted.
Athena sounds like a psycho.
The version of him in that damn in that flashback definitely did. Finally tells the truth, and this is what it is. It's beyond devastating. I tried to take my mother apart. Hold on one second.
She's definitely traumatized now.
Yeah, oh, she was traumatized earlier. I No! Aw, shit. So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother, Athena. As I said, right? The truth isn't always pretty. Murder, disassembly on an operating table, a scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears that my theory was correct after all.
Objection!
It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast aspirations on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner. Dr. Sykes could be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all her heart. She loves me. Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain, so she worked tirelessly on her research. Do you remember those headphones you hated so much? Yes, my head hurt every time I wore them. Tanaka approved. No, Athena, it's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of people around you. Your power was much stronger than it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with everyday life. No, that can't be true. Then why would I have done something like that to somebody who I love so much? Her love for you was real. That I can guarantee. That's why I knew that what happened had to be some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it. Just, man. Selling shit to my... Tanaka approved. I mean, listen, he did what he do what he do. So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you think. Panko was a witness, so I had it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. I threw Panko away in the boarding lounge trash chute. And I hid the case on the Space Center grounds. It would seem that we now have all the facts of this case. No, not yet. It can't end like this. Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed. Or are you the type of man to turn your back to things that disagree with you? I'm not. But this... I can't give up now. I have to say something, anything, even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that, I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. I have to make it work. Nah, it's not that simple. Something else had to have happened. Somebody else killed her. The daughter was present, but because it might have been like too triggering for her. And so she tried to heal her mother by putting her on the table because like they so eloquently said, she couldn't tell the difference between people and robots, so she thought she could fix her mother. So she witnessed her mother dying. She witnessed her mother dying, and that's what those black locks are for. And that's just something that we're just gonna have to try and see if we can fix or learn more about later on down the line. It's crazy, but anyway. Mr. Wright? Yes, Athena? It's okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my sake. Athena, what are you saying? I killed my mother. That's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said. We had to face it, no matter how much it hurts. I admit my guilt. But could I please be granted just one chance to tell everyone what I recall? It appears Miss Sykes is it's much braver than you, Mr. Wright. What do you say? What you said? Well, let's see. What say you, Your Honor? In light of her courage, will the court give Miss Sykes the opportunity to confess? Very well, then if you would please take the stand, Miss Sykes. Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Blackwell, for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end. Athena! Prosecutor Blackwell will be cleared, and the dark age of the law will come to an end! Yes! Admit your guilt, and bring everything to its conclusion! I will. I will. I killed my mother. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing, in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. Your Honor, please find me guilty. I dare say these are all memories that no one but murder could have. Would have. I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have a counter-argument? I do.
Objection!
I do, actually. Because this is really important, and I'll even show everybody, you know. I'll even show everybody like where I'm going with this. What's the important news? She got on her jacket. She got slashed there. Apparently, in her autopsy, it was a stab wound to the heart. So how could this and this, like, how?
111. 1. 111.
Oh shit, you been following me for a year. Let's go. Welcome. You're here for a year. Woo woo. Nah, we need more. Yeah, nah. But Mr. Wright, why? I killed her. I remember it now. Any kind of argument now is pointless. Mm-mm.
It's been a long year at that.
Been a long year at that? Yeah, it has been. Don't tell me you forgot one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you are not a murderer. I said that you never changed, but could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth.
Life has a huge forehead.
You not wrong. Emotionalism, don't lecture me on matters of the heart, Edgeworth. Because I can see straight into a person's soul. I did a little research. I looked into those special Psylocks you mentioned, Mr. Wright. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself. There's still a chance. Somewhere deep in Athena's heart, there might still be a memory that not even she knows about yet. It might even be looking for a grain of sand somewhere in the cosmos, but still, the memory might contain a new fact that could prove her innocence. I hope for everyone's sake that you're not just bluffing, Mr. Wright. Now then, is there or is there not a problem with Mr. Sykes' confession? Yes, bro. Yes, there is. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question. I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands and the feeling of stabbing it in deep. I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. There's definitely something wrong with her memory of the event. I can just tell. Is there a problem with her confession? Please prove it to the court now. It has the victim's blood. Whoa, wait. Flag on the fucking play. This utility knife has the... What about this one? The weapon used in the murder 7 years ago belongs to the victim. The victim's blood was found on the blade. Then what the fuck is this? Which goes back to my point. It wasn't this that killed her. It was this that killed her.
Take that!
Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. Wright? I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor. But I remember it. I remember holding the weapon and getting blood on my fingers. That's exactly my point. If blood really did get on your fingers while you were holding it, there should be blood on the handle, and there isn't. But please focus on the handle of this sword. There's not a trace of blood on it, and therefore, this is clearly a contradiction of the facts. You're right. Oh my.
Objection!
The defendant must have simply confused a portion of her memories. She mentioned it was hazy to begin with, and we can't mull over every minor detail.
Objection!
She also said there's no question I remember it, a fact we can't ignore. In that case, why don't you explain what this contradiction with her memories means? Gladly. Just give me a second to think of something. Altered. That's hilarious. I want to say that Athena didn't stab anyone, but she said it herself. She remembers the feeling of committing the act. To think, Phoenix, think. The defendant used a different kind of weapon. Miss Sykes said blood flowed down the handle, but the katana's handle is spotless. So doesn't it follow that the defendant must have used a different weapon other than the katana? What are you up to this time? Your Honor. This is it. This time, I found just the thing to end Athena's nightmare for good. The weapon that took Dr. Sykes' life was the katana. That much is sure. So if I can show a possibility that Athena didn't use the katana, it could help me prove her innocence. A different weapon, you say? What weapon would that be exactly? Sorry. I see you're floundering, Mr. Wright. Did you speak without thinking again, as always? How do you do that? I can't back down. How does he do that? But I can't back down. Not here. Not now. That's right. I did. Because it's so obvious it doesn't require any thought. What did you say? Okay, so maybe that was an exaggeration. But there is something. There has to be some other bladed weapon in the robotics lab that day. Oh gosh. There is something. There's a high probability that that was in the lab. I don't have that particular weapon here in evidence right now, but I do have a piece of evidence just like it. You funny.
Take that!
That's the murder weapon with the clay Turan case. Yes, this is the knife that took Mr. Turan's life. But there must have been a knife just like this at the scene 7 years ago as well. Toolkits containing utility knives like this one are issued to Space Center employees. And a robotics lab especially would naturally have one of these around. But besides the katana, no other bladed weapon was found at the site. It was an investigation report if you didn't know.
Objection!
Oh, night, buddy! Of course I knew it. Once you told me just now. Then there's something else you already knew. There was a toolkit at the scene, but it didn't contain any blades. There is a photo of its contents. You're right, I don't see any blades and I don't see any kind of bladed tool. Fine. But isn't there something... Wait, it's all out of order. Therefore... Wait. That's all out of order. Holy shit.
Objection!
Nope. I disagree. This toolkit contained a knife. What proof do you have? Look at the handle. Exactly. Look at the handle, bro. You're criticizing my aesthetic sense. Now, he is simply watching out for your ocular health. Please proceed, Mr. Wright. Notice that the handles of each of the tools have a sort of design on them. Ah, I see that they do. But what significance does that have? It's clear that one of the tools is missing from the kit. If we rearrange the tools into a specific pattern, we might be able to tell which part of the overall design is missing. Is that the theory your pitiful sense of aesthetics helps you come up with? Edgeworth. Just let it go, man. Show the court then, if you will. What pattern is the design? What pattern design would you see if you were to arrange the tool? Nope, that ain't it. Oh, that! Yeah, that!
Take that!
What design is this supposed to represent? The Gyaxa logo, Your Honor. It's on all the Space Center's documents and pamphlets. Gyaxa! Every time I see that word. Gyaxa! Look at how brightly the Gyaxa logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and the rocket motif it's got going. Gyaxa, huh? Isn't that the name for the Federal Space R&D program? I think I see it now. But yes, with just tools shown in this photo, the A part of the logo is missing. And this is where the murder weapon from the Tehran case comes into play. If we were to place the utility knife in the open slot, it would complete the Gyaxa logo. So it would. Then that means, admit it, Mr. Edgeworth, my aesthetic sense is keener than yours. And while you're at it, admit that the weapon Miss Sykes used could have been this one. Yeah. Order! Order in the court! Miss Sykes confessed to having a memory of stabbing the victim. Admittedly, Miss Sykes most likely did stab someone using the utility knife. However, the weapon used to kill Dr. Sykes was the katana. Therefore, the act of stabbing that Miss Sykes remembers couldn't be that of Dr. Sykes. Very well, but suppose for a minute that Miss Sykes did use the utility knife. Tell me, how does that change anything? What if the katana was only being used as a decoy to conceal the true murder weapon? If the real weapon that took the victim's life was the utility knife, don't be ridiculous, or are you changing the premise of your entire argument? I'm merely offering a hypothetical situation derived from your logic. Miss Sykes could have put blood on the katana to make it look like the murder weapon, and then concealed the knife on her personage until Blackwell carried her away. It does clear up the contradiction between Miss Sykes' memories and the evidence. If, in fact, the murder weapon is a utility knife, then fate has dealt you a cruel hand. For you have just proven the knife's existence to the rest of us with your own logic. The prosecution is attempting to lead the court. No. You're the one attempting to lead the court, Mr. Wright. By forcing us to forget the facts of this case. Need I remind you that there were only 2 people in the lab at the time of the murder, and that the defendant herself recalls stabbing someone with her own hands? No. It matters not whether the murder weapon was a katana or a utility knife, as long as we know the victim and the defendant were the only ones there. You cannot escape the fact that it was Athena Sykes who killed her own mother. I don't believe it. Why? Why is this even happening? Every time I find a contradiction, it vanishes and the suspicion keeps coming back. It's almost as if. Now you're finally starting to get it. Your contradictions keep vanishing because the charge is true. And the suspicion keeps coming back to the defendant because that's where it belongs. Phoenix Wright, when will you open your eyes and accept the truth? I don't want to believe it. It can't be true. But what if? Mr. Wright, you fought a good fight. I think you've done all you can do. Is giving up really the only option? No. Snap out of it, Phoenix. What's the matter with you? Giving in to doubt. I can't look back. Forward is the only way to go. No, Your Honor, not yet. It isn't over yet. Right. I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena, and I'll always believe in her to the very end. A defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, I'll just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case thoroughly. Hey-oh, we're in his head. I can see the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with a utility knife. This must have been what Ponko witnessed as Athena's hug. But Prosecutor Blackwell didn't see the knife at the scene. That means that someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken the utility knife from the lab? Someone else. If I trust in Athena, then I have to conclude there was a third person at the scene. But according to Ponko's testimony, Athena and her mother were the only 2 there. But we just found out that they can only recognize a person by facial features once the face has been registered, and they recognize people by scanning their spacesuits or uniform jacket ID. I know, this person must have fooled Ponko by using facial recognition. By covering their own face. But wait a minute, Ponko has a heartbeat detection system too. Even if they covered their own face, Ponko would have still detected their presence. But she wouldn't be able to tell who they were. Wait, that's it. The culprit must have covered their own face and posed as which person to avoid detection. Rita Sykes. If the culprit posed as the victim, then that would explain why Ponko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Panko's basic recognition features. The culprit used that in order to pose as the victim. Her jacket. The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it, but that still leaves the heartbeat detection system. How did the culprit get around that? She was already dead. By the time Panko came into the room, that has to be it. She was already dead. And her daughter reacting was just like, you bastard. That's how I would have did it. It wouldn't have worked if Panko could detect the real Dr. Sykes' heartbeat too. So does that mean that the real Dr. Sykes was already dead by the time? If that's the case, then who did Athena stab? She stabbed the real culprit. That's what her ass did. Good job, kid. It wasn't Dr. Sykes. It was the person who murdered her and pretended to be her, the real culprit. Now that Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking, let's bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honor, so that we can move on to hostage negotiations. Damn, this is a long ass one. You were absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby. Didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second because I realized something so shocking I had to take a break to digest it. But now I know for a fact that Miss Sykes is innocent. But Panko saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime. Yes, Panko did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment that you used the utility knife. But the person you stabbed wasn't your mother. What are you saying, Mr. Wright? The answer is simple. The person Miss Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes. What? Yeah.
Objection!
Huh. Do you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright? According to the robot's statements, there was no third person. There was no third person there. Did you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grab for time? After all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. Did you know by now that this smile of mine means I have absolute confidence? You make that pose all the time, regardless of the facts. Quanko's strange malfunction. Mr. Turan, you look pale. Shall I help you to your sick bay? Mr. Turan? But that's Apollo you're talking to. Oh, this hunk of junk is mistaken Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost. That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag. All because Clonko couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to his eye patch. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask could nullify the robot's facial recognition. And then, all the person would have to do is wear a jacket with the victim's ID tag to pose as her. Of all the ridiculous theories, what good would a silly disguise like that do? Have you forgotten that the robot has already... the robot also has a heartbeat detection system? If there were a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them. She was already dead. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but that doesn't count for much, I'm afraid. Because by the time Dr. Sykes' heartbeat had already stopped beating... Because by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating. What? Because you even said it yourself. That doesn't account for the fact that somebody is dead. So does that mean... Yes, Your Honor. The person Miss Sykes stabbed this third person who was posing as Dr. Sykes is her mother's real killer. What's up, Music Supreme? I hope you're doing well. But I'm impossible. Yeah, now I got you on the ropes, bitch. A mask? The person I stabbed was wearing a mask? Order in the court. Miss Sykes, did you say? Appreciate it. Did you say something? A mask? Yes, I remember. Athena, what is it? Oh shit. I remember a man with a mask. How could he? What did he do to my mother? My head. Ah! Miss Sykes, are you all right? No. Uh-oh. The Black Psylocks. They're breaking. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh lord. Oh lord. Heyo. It's all coming back to me. Everything that happened that day, my mother was murdered. Murder! I'm joking. I'm so joking. I should not have said it like that. Welcome back, Afro. There's a long ass cut. I mean, not cutscene. There's a long ass episode. Or part, I should say. They're gone. The Black Psylocks are finally gone. Psylocks, excuse me. You didn't really stab your mother, did you? It's all right, Athena. Just tell us what you saw that day. I was drawing a picture. When I was done, I went to show it to my mom. I opened the door, and then... It's all right. I'm right here. You're safe, Athena.
Another word I forgot to mention that sounds close, but if you mess up it means.
Something different? What was the word? She was on the floor by the workbench with a katana sticking out of her. There was a handkerchief over her face, but I knew it was her by her clothes. And there was a man there. A man?
Hold it!
Quiet, Your Honor. Go on, Athena. He tried to attack me. In a panic, I grabbed the knife that was in there and... he dodged at first, so I only got his clothes. But I tried again, and this time you got him, didn't you? I did. I remembered it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand. Then he kicked me and I passed out. When I came to, my mom wasn't moving. I had to do something. I had to fix her. Oh, so you gotta say those words, you gotta pronounce those words correctly. I had to do something. I had to fix her, I thought. So I asked Ponko to move her to the operating table. Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm gonna take her apart and fix her. So that's what she said. That's why she said that. Temple. Bathroom, dumbass. Bathroom. Jeez. Not hand wash. Your Honor, as you can see, the defendant has just given us critical new testimony. A man was there before Miss Sykes arrived. A man who covered the victim's face and put on the victim's jacket. This man is the real culprit. Miss Sykes, do you have any idea who this man was? No, I'm afraid I don't. Toilet wash? Oh my gosh. A few moments ago, Miss Sykes mentioned a mask. Athena, can you tell us anything about that? Yes, the mask. It was my mom's Japanese theater mask. Wait, hold on. Nope. Oh, okay. The one that's hanging right there. Damn, so after the whole thing was done, they put it back? Jesus. It was the one here on the wall from the lab. Ah, this mask hanging out here on the wall.
Might be more accurate than wrestling or bathroom.
Oh, really? Okay. It was kind of spooky, that mask. My mom used to tell me that a no mask has the power to turn an ordinary human into a phantom. A phantom? It would seem that a new suspect has emerged, and that means that all suspicion against Miss Sykes has, not Mrs., but Miss Sykes has. Aw, shit. You see? This is precisely why I can't trust the court system. Athena Sykes is the murderer. I won't accept any other verdict. Miss Blackwell, this is not good. A new suspect? Where's the proof that this person ever existed? Who says it wasn't all just a dream in the little princess's groggy little head? She's right. We don't have any hard evidence of the masked man's existence.
Objection!
Thanks to you, Mr. Wright, I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now, because I can say with certainty that I didn't kill my mother. Athena, I'm so glad for you. More and more memories are coming back now. So I'd like to say one thing if I could. Ponko came to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. to recharge. Toilet. I went to the robotics lab at around 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. I see. Where are you going with this, if Mommy Metis was really the killer in disguise? Right. Then he must have come to the robotics lab before 2 p.m. Do I have anything in the evidence that can help me find the person who came to the lab before 2 p.m.?
Take that!
Because of how she pronounced that. Listen, when we hear something that we normally don't say a certain way, like it's are we childish or are we salad? 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 Listen, I say SpongeBob's way of saying salads. I say 2 salads. Whenever I'm just being funny, salads. This is Prosecutor Blackwell leaving the scene after the incident around 3 p.m. What I'm wondering is, does this video show anyone passing by there before then? I don't see anything in the investigation report. Looks like they didn't check. Just as I thought. So if we rewind the footage and go back to around 2 p.m., we should be able to see the true culprit leaving the scene. Very well then, let's take a look. Rewind. There, please stop it right there. Oh shit, who is it? Who is that? It's just as you said, there is a man leaving the scene at scene of the crime. Miss Sykes, do you remember this person? That's him! I'm sure of it! He's wearing my mother's jacket! I did, but what I really wanted to see was her jacket. That jacket on display? That was Dr. Sykes? Can you see it? There's a slash I made in the utility knife that day. And I'm sure the knife is under that jacket somewhere. So then, everything Miss Sykes said... Exactly. It proves that Miss Sykes' memory was correct. Like we just say salad. Like, bro, what are you doing? Dr. Sykes' killer arrived at the robotics lab before 2 p.m. He killed her and hit her face with a handkerchief. Then he disguised himself as Dr. Sykes with Dr. Sykes' jacket and mask that were there in the lab. The culprit probably knew beforehand that Ponko charged at 2 p.m. every day. So he waited for Ponko to come to the lab for her regular recharge. By leaving Dr. Sykes' jacket on, the culprit tricked Ponko into thinking he was Dr. Sykes, thereby making it look like she was alive up to the point in time. It caught you off guard? I mean, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. All to disguise the real time of death. Okay. It's a nice theory, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that it's just not possible. What? Why not? The victim's jacket is clearly visible right there in the video. And that right there is precisely the problem. The ID tag on the jacket at the scene confirms beyond doubt that it belonged to the victim. If the person who left the lab truly was wearing the victim's jacket, then how could it possibly have wound up back at the scene of the crime? They double-backed! Edgeworth's right. If the culprit was wearing the jacket, how did they bring it back to the lab? The killer brought it back. The killer must have used the jacket as a disguise to make his escape, but in order to conceal the fact that he had to get the jacket back to the crime. But in order to conceal that fact, he had to get the jacket back to the crime scene. So the culprit simply returned to the robotics lab after robotics lab later and planted it there. Contradiction resolved.
Objection!
Except that it would have been impossible. The only people who came to the robotics lab after the killer were the prosecutor Blackwell and the person who reported the body. And they claimed that the jacket was there when they arrived. So, when do you propose this mysterious man of yours had the chance to return the jacket? A puzzling question indeed. When did the culprit have a chance to return the jacket? When the body was found. The only time the culprit could have returned the jacket was when the body was found. Mr. Wright, do you realize the implication of that argument? I do. Most people, when they come across a murder, focus their attention on the body. The culprit must have taken advantage of the split second to plant the jacket. In other words, the true culprit of this case is the man known as the Phantom. Was one of the people to discover the body. I would never have thought of that. Yeah, most people wouldn't. Order! Order in the court! What is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Edgeworth? The body was discovered by and reported by a group of 3 people. They were there to collect the space probes capsule in preparation for HAT 1 launch. In preparation for the HAT 1 launch, excuse me. One of those people had a special bag to transport the capsule in. Oh, you mean the shock-resistant bag? Correct. I suppose if that is, I suppose that if the jacket was in that bag, it could have been returned to the scene of the crime without anyone noticing. I could see it that you could get. I'll see to it that you get the reports on those 3 people. You will? You should also check the facial recognition database for that robot. If that person felt the need to hide his face with a theater mask, it might mean that his facial data was once registered. Prosecutor Edgeworth, does that mean... I have to admit, I believe Miss Sykes' memory is credible. You win, right? Not that this was ever an official trial anyway. Do my ears deceive me? Prosecutor Blackwell. Edgeworth, are you actually conceding? Is it true? Boss, does this mean Can't believe it, it's over. I won. I proved that both Athena and Prosecutor Blackwell are innocent. Your Honor, I see no need to further prolong this trial. Ah, shit. Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial? That's right. I'm the one who's in charge. To say, I see no need for further prolong. Not you either, Your Honor. Now silence. The little princess was truly beloved by Metis, and who repaid that love with death. All these years hating Athena was the only thing that's kept me going. But what do I do now? Can anybody tell me? How am I supposed to go on? Miss Blackwell. How unlike you, Aura. Metis was deeply passionate about her work and she chose you as her partner. Isn't that... Shut up, Simon! You know exactly how I felt about her. Her respect as a co-worker wasn't all that I wanted. Oh, not you spilling your guts. Girl. But what did you want from her? Did you really just go there, Your Honor? Aura, there is something I wanted to say if you will lend me an ear. I have in my possession a lead on Metis' murder. I have a lead on who Metis' murderer is. You do? Right, Donna. You asked me about the identity of the Phantom in 7 years past. That's right. The Phantom, the person Blackwell has been looking for, even from behind bars. 7 years ago, somebody hatched a plan to sabotage the Hat 1 rocket. Oh my gosh. Jesus. The spy. But he was no ordinary spy. We knew not about him, his background, appearance. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. At the time, I was working with the police to hunt him down. And then, one day, a miracle happened, and I obtained a lead on him. Oh, how exciting! What was the lead? A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for proper voice analysis. Yet, I had hope. Aura's co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotions, so I asked her to evaluate the recording using analytical psychology. And the scientist was Dr. Sykes? Yes. A spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. In addition to Hat 1, Dr. Sykes' results was and the recording were surely among his targets. But his search in the Space Center bore no fruit, so he must have started to panic. He couldn't find them, but where could they have been? Well, where could they have been? Who is to say? Wow, I bet he never let that, Wow, I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years. How in the world did you smuggle them into prison? Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner is especially talented at that sort of thing. God, the bird! I work to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. I was even granted permission to prosecute cases to attract the Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity, you bloody butcher, became my taunt. And what about the results Dr. Sykes drew up for you? Was there any useful information? Here, you can see for yourself. But take a good look up, but take good care of it. It's all I have left of my mentor. I will. I better hold on to these real tight. Oh, time to look through the court record. Oh, you bitches and you hoes. Bring it back. Hold on. Oh, I can't look at it. You suck. Classified. Emotional output of the voice extremely weak compared to typical voices. Subject deemed to have unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. No emotional fluctuation, huh? A spy who experiences no emotions, not sadness nor anger, and actually no fear. He is the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart. Don't you see? This creature is to rot. The creature is the rot that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion. A phantom, indeed. A fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world. Well then, it seems a faint image of this man has started to take shape. Based on what we've learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation. This is not a normal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand down my verdicts and bring these proceedings to an end. Whatever. Do what you want. You'll hear no objections from me. Yes, please, Your Honor. It's over. It's finally over. Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, could you please take the stand? As a result of this trial, your innocence has been proven. The verdict, handed down 7 years ago, is hereby overturned. And now, the defendant of the current trial, Miss Athena Sykes. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything. Athena, you're more than welcome. If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict. Hurry up, dude. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Ooh. You? Or you? Apollo, what the fuck are you doing? Apollo, what the fuck are you doing? Congratulations, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Edgeworth. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago and you saved Prosecutor Blackwell. However, I can't allow this trial to end just yet. Why, Apollo? Why would you do this to us? Bro, this, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? Apollo, are we supposed to be on the same side? Somebody come get this man. Somebody come get this man before I get him. Cause I'ma hurt him. Oh my gosh, like so unnecessary. Jeez Louise. Oh my gosh, there's a part 2 of the part 1 of the trial. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm calling it. It's too much. It's too much. Okay? Like the room is spinning. Apollo's getting on my nerves. Ugh, there's something wrong with that damn child. Oh, thank you. I've had this for a while. But if anybody could see it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for coming through and hanging out with me and giving me your undivided time, attention, and energy, because without y'all spreading the love, this place wouldn't be as cool and as fun as it possibly could be. Huge shout out to the stream chat, aka my co-hosts, Afro, That Nature Person, Music Supreme, and GRT. And if I'm missing someone else, please let me know. Oh, and Senior Severio, they were in here earlier. If I'm missing anybody else, though, let me know. I'll give you your shout out, because without y'all in our conversations, I don't think this stream would be as lively and as fun as it normally is. So I really do appreciate you guys and all of your support. Please note that I do sell emotes, emojis, and digital arts, all on my Etsy page, which is also Notorious Baddie. I have a link to it in my Twitch profile and on my YouTube page. It says looking for emotes, as well as a link written down below on all of my banners, so you can copy it down, check it out, let me know what you guys think. Give me your honest feedback, whether that is good, bad, or indifferent critiques, because when I hear from you about what you like and what you don't like, I can create better content, and therefore I can make something that you would actually want to purchase. So when you help me out, you help yourselves out. And also copy down the rest of those socials. I got my YouTube page on there, the Discord, like join those. It's real, so you can keep up to date with me. And if you ever need to reach out to me for any reason, the Discord is the absolute best way to do that. But you can also, I will also keep all the other socials up to date with information, especially days that I will not be streaming. Speaking of which, this Friday I will be going out of town, and I will not be back until the following week, not the week after, not next week, but the week after that. So want to put everybody on, like right now I'll be saying it today, tomorrow, and the next day after that until I actually leave, but I'm gonna update my schedule as well, do that well ahead of time so that there's no confusion. But anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Wish you all a fantastic rest of your day, and I'm out. Deuces.